Awesome. Thanks, Corinne. And I can go ahead and share my screen. Just give me
Perfect.
1 minute. Can you see my screen? All right. And just to preface this, I am calling from our office. So if it's a little noisy, we're a little short of office space today for call rooms. So I apologize if there's any background noise while we go through this. But first and foremost, thank you all so much for joining us for our Health and Wellness Flowcode webinar. We are so incredibly excited to have you here today and talk about our solution. And I'm joined here by our team, Corinne, she's our creator community manager, myself, and Cassie, who is our guest co-host. She is all about the product, all about design, and she'll go ahead and kind of lead us through a couple of topics throughout this webinar. And just a little agenda for today. So we'll talk a little bit about our solution, some use cases, some of our exciting features, and then we'll go through Q&A. But just a few housekeeping items before we get started. Just go ahead, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, navigate to the little bottom toolbar in Zoom and just drop in any of your questions in the designated Q&A box, and then we'll go through them all at the end of the webinar. So without further ado, let's talk about our solution. Who are we? So we're Flowcode. We are a QR and landing page solution, but what we really do is connect the real world to the digital world, what we say instantly and magically. We're really just taking offline experiences and making them measurable, and really are the doorway, from your marketing materials to your online ecosystem. And so we've worked with 70% of the Fortune 500. We've touched over 3 million plus creators on the platform with over nearly 300 million connections in over 100 countries. And we've learned from really a series of several amazing brands and health and wellness brands specifically that really have gotten us to where we are today. So it's really big thanks to our customers there. And so the next slide, we always like to talk about just what differentiates Flowcode from standard QR. And so I will actually pass it over to Cassie, who can talk a little bit more about our design versus, that traditional black and white cookie cutter QR code that we're all used to seeing.
Awesome. Thank you, Georgette. So most of you have probably seen the plain black and white code that's presented on the left side of the screen. It's not very engaging, is it? So there's not a call to action informing people to open their camera and scan. And honestly, it's not even pleasing to look at or even capture. At Flowcode, we lead by design. So when you log into your account, you're able to customize your code by using our auto generator. Here, you're able to choose your colors. You can add your logo, choose your shape, whether circle or square. If you're a pro or above user, you're also able to request a custom code, which is solely designed by our in-house designers. These codes specifically reflect your brand, and they can include specific hex colors, include a call to action, images, logos. You can even change your data pattern. And the data pattern is the small dots that you're seeing throughout the code. So we have seen anything from hearts, animals, we got some bumblebees today, absolutely everything and anything that will, reflect your brand to the best possible way. Additionally, each code can be tailored for specific use cases, such as TV spots, print ads, or marketing materials. You'll also see that our codes are dynamic. So once you have a beautifully designed code, you need a scan destination. So this is where you want people to go once they've scanned your code. Is it a website? Is it a file, an email? The best part is because our codes are dynamic, you're able to continuously change and update your scan destination, even if they've already been printed. So one code can follow you as your business evolves. Next, we have our data. So we're going to touch more on this, more on our analytics further on, as we have an amazing Flowlytics team. But in summary, you can see how your code is working for you by the connections you are making. You can see where and when a user is scanning your code, and even by the device that they're scanning with. Next up is privacy. So at the very bottom of our codes, you'll see what we call our privacy smile. This keeps us GDPR and CCPA compliant. We are also patent protected. So something that sets us aside from other companies is our circular design, which is a lot more eye-catching and engaging for people to see. It also, we have noticed that the circles tend to fit in, different files better. So whenever you're creating a template, a circle seems to just work so much better. And let's see, next up is QA. So every code designed by our in-house designers goes through a rigorous QA process. For example, if there's not enough contrast between the background and the data, a code may not scan. If the eyes, which are those three squares, are too close to the border, the code may not scan. There are so many things that can affect scannability, but at Flowcode, you'll never be given a code that's not scannable. Our codes are tested across multiple devices from a list which is constantly updated to reflect current market share. We test not only on the newest devices, but also those which have established longevity in the market. So not everyone has the newest device, and we want to make the experience as easy as possible for all. And last up, we have Flowpage, which is a mobile optimized landing page, which is used to organize your digital content, which you'll hear more on next.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cassie. Great. Okay, so Flowpage. So on top of all the wonderful things that Cassie mentioned to us, we also have an additional product outside of the Flowcode QR code that I'm sure you're all very familiar with at this point. And it's called Flowpage Mobile Landing Page. It's basically our sister product. And it actually can be accessed either, through a Flowcode, or it can just live as a link in bio. Replace your website. But really what this is meant to be is an extension of your brand, a really, really great place for you to kind of aggregate multiple links or multiple destinations for your customers. Because as we know, when somebody's scanning a code, or maybe they're looking at your product or your services, everybody's coming with a different kind of need, or maybe they're looking for your phone number or locations or services. So this is a really great way to kind of tailor that information and almost abbreviate everything that's on your website and kind of plug and play what's most important for your customers to see. So this is Flowpage. On the screen, you'll see two different ones, one for Health One and one for Orange Theory. One of my favorite kind of features on Flowpage is the ability to add your contact information for individuals who scan. They can then download that contact information, and your contact will be automatically downloaded to their phone. So kind of really ditching, business cards and more like helping you save on paper. You can kind of replace your business cards with a flow page at this point. And then kind of connect with people instantly. Another really exciting feature on this page that you can't really see here, but you can actually collect first-party data, such as someone's phone number, their first name, last name, email. There's also some custom fields that you can add as well. So this is a really good example for things like if you're having a giveaway and you have a flow page link as a link in bio, and somebody clicks, a pop-up will come up and they can enter that giveaway and see any other information after they've given you their info. And of course, they'll be able to opt in and enter into your marketing workflows as well. So just a few other kind of notes on the Flowpage side from the health and wellness side as well. We've got the ability to add facility locations, any services you provide, patient resources. The limit does not exist. We've seen a lot of different pages across various different use cases. But yeah, that's a little bit about Flowpage. Skip too fast. And then just overall, what this slide is really meant to show is that we are an end-to-end platform powered by data. So really, whether you came here for Flowcode QR or Flowpage or for both, or maybe you're still not sure, what you're here for, this is really just to show you kind of the synergy between all of our products, where you have a Flowcode, maybe it's on your marketing materials, on your brochure, something that you could never really measure before. And that code, maybe it doesn't land on your website anymore. Maybe it takes somebody to an even more elevated and fully branded experience like a flow page. And just knowing that that entire experience from the minute a user scans to when they land and start clicking all these buttons on your page is completely trackable through real-time analytics. So now you can see, how many people are engaging with my brochure, where are they clicking on my flow page, and then maybe you even get some first-party information from that contact collection tool. So now you even, you have those people in your database for as long as you'd like. So yep, that's pretty much what this is showing you. Just a few things on, and actually, you know what, before I jump far, Analytics we'll talk a little more in the webinar. Sorry, Cassie will talk about it. I almost jumped ahead. But I'll pass it over to Corinne to talk a little bit about use cases.
Thanks, Georgette. So depending on your industry, there are hundreds of ways that you can use Flowcode. And here are just some of the top ways that people in the health and wellness industry are leveraging the platform. So you can create seamless patient experiences for your customers with Flowcodes with capabilities like checking in and contactless payments. Those will take the pain points out of appointments, classes, and visiting your facilities in general. And then there are also on-screen integrations, which will allow you to seamlessly connect people to or connect yourselves to your audience. So you can use visual media and transfer people to the online world rather than flashing up a phone number consumers won't dial or URL that they won't type out. Flowcodes allow you to instantly drive the exact action you want people to take without the hassle of having to input that information. You can then implement Flowcode across a multitude of channels, not just TV. So it'll allow you to create experiences for your customers and even potential customers at every touch point. So you're able to use multiple channels like print, out of home, digital, and others that will maximize engagement with your community. So you'll be able to interact with your audience like never before. Then you can take your lead generation game to a whole new level with CRM collection, which Georgette touched on a little bit. So this is available with FlowPage, and it allows you to know who is scanning. So as Cassie mentioned, we are GDPR and CCPA certified, so we don't collect that personally identifiable information at the point of scan. So if HIPAA compliance is important to you, know that they are protected, but if you don't have to think about HIPAA, or this is something like an advertising campaign and you do want that information for retargeting and marketing purposes, you are able to integrate with other CRM platforms like MailChimp, HubSpot, Salesforce, Klaviyo, and more. So you're able to automate that messaging further and connect with your current customers or prospects. And then lastly, on this slide, you can harness the power of Flowcode technology to engage your customers on a deeper level. So you can use Flowcodes as a portal to transport scanners from the offline world right into your digital ecosystem. Then the power is in your hands. So you can choose what content they can interact with. So you'll be able to understand where and how you're engaging, how your audience is engaging with it. And then you can curate the back end based on that. And as we've mentioned, Cassie will touch on data and analytics later on, but they are a big driver of why people love Flowcode. So one of the biggest use cases for Flowcode is out of home, which is a $29 billion sector of advertising. So we know how much money goes into this, and we don't want you to waste that investment. So print advertising has been thought of as old school, and there hadn't been ways to understand that return on investment or see its effectiveness. But enter Flowcode. So with our QR and landing page solutions, you'll be able to compare engagement across all out-of-home mediums. So create unique flow codes for each campaign to track how much customers are interacting with each material so you can optimize your marketing spend. So rather than having a generic boring QR code that interrupts the aesthetic of your campaigns, as Cassie mentioned, with our design, you can tailor it to your brand and have it be a cohesive experience and align with your branding as a company. And our best practices will ensure that all your codes are scannable so that you don't have to worry about putting a code that's pixelated on your graphics or something that doesn't have high enough contrast. With Flowcodes, we again ensure that it all is scannable. Next is direct mailers. So another way industry leaders are currently using Flowcode is through direct mailers. And we partnered with Fjallraven to test the effectiveness of these direct mail campaigns in Colorado. And the results of the test showed a 40% response rate, a 7% lift in in-store traffic, and a 3% increase in scan rates. So you can take this to a whole other level by integrating with our print API, which will allow you to automatically generate unique codes for each recipient. So with this, you'll be able to see exactly who is scanning the codes and where they're scanning. You can see those maps They show scan by location. So on top of that engagement, Fjallraven was able to see where people were interacting with their mailers and where they were located in the city of Denver. Again, showing the power of Flowcode for identifying how customers are choosing to engage with your valuable materials. In addition to print, you can also engage your audience by utilizing the power of Flowcode TV. So while anyone can use Flowcode on TV, ProFlex and Enterprise allows you to access the Flowcode TV tool in the platform itself and even optimize your codes for scanning on digital assets. So this feature will allow you to easily drop codes into your video assets, add scan education, and even test what size they need to be based on the distance away from a TV. So back in 2020, you'll see this slide showcases our Mount Sinai case study. They wanted a secure and instant way to collect donations at the height of COVID-19. So previously they used a standard fundraising method, which took a lot longer and had higher drop-off rates. But with Flowcode, Mount Sinai was able to direct audience across the US to donate directly to frontline healthcare workers. So this campaign resulted in an astounding $1.2 million donated using Flowcode, 10,000 new donors added to Mount Sinai's network, and 143 million impressions across mediums. So this truly illustrates the ways in which Flowcode can help you drive donations and maximize any of your fundraising efforts. Next, you can use Flowcode to enhance your events. So with attendance at events increasing, lines can get long and people can get impatient. So Flowcode can increase venue sales such as food and beverage, merchandising, and as we mentioned previously, donations by eliminating the need to wait. And as we mentioned so many times before, you can collect that CRM information so that you can contact these people after the event and thank them. Or just, again, retarget them. So Bro-Am is a music festival that happens every year in San Diego. So it was founded by Switchfoot as a way to raise funds for various foundations like Feeding San Diego, the Monarch School, and other youth organizations. But this year they used Flowcode and Flowpage to enhance their festival. And they used it in a multitude of ways, including displaying it on that large screen you can see in the background there, with a code on stage, running a silent and live auction, and collecting donations throughout the venue. So Flowcode proved to increase donation 3 times over and more than tripled attendee engagement. And last but not least, as mentioned before, Georgette, you might need to click again for the text. There we go. We added a transition accidentally.
I was gonna say, like, this is new. I love it.
But last but not least, as we've mentioned before, you can create those frictionless customer experiences. Even in a post-COVID world, indoor spaces are still trying to minimize time spent in large groups of people. So Flowcodes can help facilitate processes so your customers aren't waiting in long lines. You can also put Flowcodes on table tents at your front desk, attach them to posters that you can hang around your entrance or waiting rooms, or even print stickers for customers to scan throughout their visit. So you can maximize the points at which the codes can be interacted with, and that creates different experience for each. So you can visit booking appointments or sessions with your staff, and that'll be pleasant and an easy experience. And it'll also help you provide essential resources for things like viewing test results, appointment summaries, or even workout overviews. And the most important thing about flow codes and QR codes in general is knowing that people aren't accidentally scanning them. So they're actively choosing to scan and engage with your content, and it's your chance to capitalize on that opportunity and curate how you want to drive engagement. There's truly nowhere you can't put a flow code. And with that, I will pass it over to Georgette for additional features.
Awesome. Thanks, Corinne. Love those case studies.
Awesome.
So, right? They're super fun. I love them. I love the Bro-Am one too. All right. So additional features. So when you kind of sign up with us, whether you're in your free journey, pro or above, there are a few really neat features included with our paid plans. So one of them is smart rules. And what this allows you to do is redirect a single flow code to multiple destinations based on specific parameters, such as a user's device type. So whether they're an iOS user or an Android user, or the day of the week or the time of day that person is scanning your flow code. So a really good example for the health and wellness industry that I've seen before is a user scanning a flow code. Let's say they're working out in your gym, and they scan a flow code that's on the machine, and that will take them to a schedule of a personal trainer. Maybe that's something that, the gym wants to promote, and maybe the gym is open, every day except Sundays. Or sorry, let's say the personal trainers work, every day except Sundays. And then you're working out on a Sunday, you're scanning that code rather than just kind of sending somebody to the personal trainer's calendar who's not available that day. Maybe you redirect them to some workout videos or some other additional resources that they could use. And you could really get creative with this. I mean, we've seen people across different industries use this for, outside of if you have a code outside on your window, whether you're open, maybe it's scanned to call us. And if you guys are closed, let's say if you're a clinic, maybe it's scanned to book an appointment for the following week. So just a few examples there on how you can use this tool. And then next is bulk creation. So we talk a lot about throughout the presentation, analytics overall and the importance of measuring the success of your marketing. I know Corinne kind of touched on that a lot, and just being able to add multiple codes on pretty much every single marketing collateral that you have, from a t-shirt to any event collateral, brochures, you name it. And so let's say you do have the need to create multiple flow codes with the same design at one time. You can absolutely do that in our platform with our bulk creation tool. And so basically this allows you to create up to either 50 or 1,000 codes at one time, depending on the plan that you're on. And then they will kind of bulk push all of these codes out. They'll be completely unique, and they'll scan to the destination that you've identified, whether it's the same website or different websites. But really the point of this is so that you have a unique code. It's completely automated, right? So you don't have to go one by one 50 times over, but you have all of these unique codes that you can measure their engagement across all of your marketing materials. And then lastly, we spoke about this pretty much a lot, but CRM, but I can't stress the importance of CRM enough, just because we talked a little bit about privacy earlier. Cassie touched on it, but basically our privacy policy, you will see it on a lot of our codes. But basically what it means is when you scan a code, we don't collect any personally identifiable information from you at the point of scan. So really we're relying on CRM or this contact collection tool to get somebody's name, phone number, email. But like Corinne mentioned, right, when somebody's intentionally taking the action of scanning a code, there's a very good chance that they are interested in your product and will submit that form. So that's available to you. We do integrate, depending on what plan you're on, with Zapier. And then as you go up the chain, we integrate with MailChimp, Klaviyo, Salesforce, and we're continuing to add to our integrations here. But just kind of we always want to push CRM. And if you don't use any of these integrations, you always have ownership of this data in your account as well, in the form of a CSV file. And then just overall kind of wrapping it all up. So unlimited scans. We do not have a cap, no matter what plan you're on how many scans you get. You can get millions, thousands. You've seen a lot in the case studies that they really run the gamut in terms of how many scans our customers have received. And, we know that codes live in the world pretty much indefinitely. So we don't want to limit you or your customers or your scanners, just because you've reached a certain limit. So you've got a level of insurance there. And then custom code design. So Cassie knows a lot about this. She experiences this in her day-to-day, but our codes, obviously you saw beautifully branded codes floating throughout this presentation, and that's really as a result of Cassie and her wonderful design team. So we have a team of in-house artists who will customize a flow code for you to match your branding as well, and that's included with any of the paid plans as well. So just make sure you take advantage of that awesome feature, because what's better than having your marketing and then a beautiful code to match? Flow pages we touched on, mobile optimized landing page. It's included with every single plan. with Flowcode, every single Flowcode plan, even the free plan. So definitely play around there. And then lastly, of course, behind every single Flowcode, flow page, and every product that we offer is a human being to support you and provide best practices. And we also host daily office hours as well. So Corinne and I might be familiar faces to some of you, if you do choose to get onboarded with us. And I'll pass it over to Cassie to talk more about data and analytics.
All right. Thank you, Georgette. So if you're a numbers person, or even if you just want to know how people are engaging with your product, this is the slide for you. All flow codes and flow pages are trackable through real-time analytics. So what this means is that whenever a person scans your code or visits your flow page, their visit is recorded immediately for you to view. So as you can see on the slide, we collect IP addresses, time of scan, and the user agent of device, which means the type of device that they're scanning from. So did they use an iPhone, a Samsung? Did they visit from their desktop, etc.? So this information is gathered for you to view and even filter. For example, you can filter by specific codes, timeframes, campaigns, day of the week, and tags. So something that I personally enjoy using analytics for is I have a code on our local gym. Everybody that visits signs in via the code. So that way I can immediately check how many people have signed in on that day. I can filter to that specific day to see, do I have more traffic coming in on Monday versus Tuesday, etc. And then additionally, there are codes throughout where we can use smart rules for people to choose what workouts they want to do that day. So our workouts change based off of which program they are taking. And this enables us to see which workout program is the most popular. So we can refer back to our analytics to see which programs our attendees are viewing and have interest in. So that way we're able to adjust our programming based off of that. Additionally, you can see on this slide, about right here, we have our geolocation. This enables you to see exactly where your scanners are interacting from, as well as your top performing codes, your pages, and also your links.
Awesome. Thanks, Cassie. And I will talk about a little bit about Flowtag. So on top of all the other wonderful features that we offer, we also offer a product for the back of your phone. So Flowtag is basically an adhesive flow code that you can put on the back of your phone. And it's just a really kind of neat networking tool. I think I mentioned earlier, kind of ditching business cards and really just saving on paper. So the idea behind that concept is kind of where Flowtag, excuse me, came about. And you'll see here on the screen, this person's Flowtag links to their flow page. It looks like we have an MD here. And so Damien has his flow page all set up. You can add him to his contacts, to your contacts, excuse me, view his specialties, maybe book an appointment as well. And then just, when you're out and about networking, you can have anybody scan or actually tap the back of your phone as well, because these are also NFC enabled. So really, really great for networking events. Like I said, replacing business cards, but also just an extension of your brand. I know my mom, she's a medical esthetician. So while she's not really, I still consider it the health and wellness space.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely health and wellness.
Yeah, she's definitely health and wellness. Yeah. But she absolutely loves this tool. And we actually don't even have really like an e-commerce website. Our website, needs some love. And she just kind of uses this as flow page as her replacement. And so even if she's out and about and she wants somebody, to maybe purchase a product or something like that, they'll scan her flow code and they can just click like a shoppable link on the flow page. And it has been really been a game changer for her. So just another little anecdote there as well. And we have a little surprise at the end in terms of Flowtag. And then last but not least, what good are your codes if you don't get them out into the world? So you must print your codes and get them out there so that they can start accumulating scan data and so that your customers can start connecting with you instantly. And if you're a Pro customer or Pro Plus, you will receive a discount on our print store. We've got really awesome templates in the print store, also additional products like, table tents and floor signs and stickers, and we're really always adding items to the print store. Flow tag is also in the print store as well. So when you sign up, definitely check it out. And I think with that said, we've landed on our Q&A. So like I mentioned earlier, if you want to just go ahead and navigate to the Q&A section, we'll give it a minute or so to let them trickle in. But thanks so much for hanging around with us till the very end. And I will give it. All right. It looks like we have one question, and it's what types of code or what types of materials can I print my codes on? Cassie, do you want to take this one? I feel like maybe you'd know the
Yeah.
best materials.
So, I mean, for the most part, you can print on everything and anything. We have experimented with several different products to see. We have had everything from paper to window clings to metal. I don't know. Do you guys have more fun things that you can throw out there that you have seen?
Yeah, I would say like we've seen it etched into things, and
Car wraps have been popular.
car wraps are a big one. Also, you can like create a stencil and spray paint it.
Mhm.
Just like anything that doesn't impact the data points, as Cassie had mentioned before, is completely okay. So, if you're having it outside, I would also say make sure it's weather resistant, just so it again isn't worn down or anything. But for the most part, you can really put the code anywhere.
We also had a customer that actually fought with Yeti, and he won the fight because Yeti told him that he couldn't put codes on their Yetis. He wanted to basically laser cut our flow codes with his branding, of course, and he wanted to give them to his customers as gifts, which is an awesome gift. Like, I want a Yeti as a gift. But he won that battle, and they honestly scanned beautifully, and it looks so cool. Just like laser cut on there. So yeah, there's really the limit kind of doesn't exist as long as it doesn't impact the data patterns.
Yep.
Awesome. And then another question that came in was about the custom code process. So someone had asked, I see that the custom code is offered with your paid plans, but is there any way that it'd be offered if I don't pay for a specific plan? And the short answer to that is absolutely. So you can actually purchase codes outright. And a great example of this is like if you are hosting, maybe it's a one-time event, or if it's your wedding. We see this a lot with people who are getting married. They just want, a beautifully designed code to put on their invitations and maybe throughout their wedding, but they know that maybe long-term with us, they don't need that monthly subscription. So we do offer an option. It's a $50 designer's fee. And then our team will kind of take all your guidelines into account and create a code for you and drop it in there. Awesome. And another question that came in was, can I put a video on my flow page? And another short answer is yes, you can absolutely embed and pretty much any type of media. So I've seen audio files on there. A lot of musicians love flow page as well. Or let's say you want to create a really cool playlist for your gym. I've seen that done as well, which is really cool. So workout videos, music, maybe even sometimes people upload PDFs of services, safety guidelines, things like that. Pretty much, I don't think there's anything that you really can't implement. You can implement photos as well. And we're always rolling out new features on Flow Page too. So if there is something that you see on there if there isn't something you see on there, definitely let us know, and we can let our product team know. All right, I'll give it one more second to let any last minute questions trickle in. But if not, I think we can move on to the next slide.
Georgia, I do see one. It just came in. Is Flow Page included with all plans? And if so, how many do I get?
Oh, you want to answer that one, or I'll answer
it? Yeah, I can answer that one.
Cool.
Flow Page is included in all the plans. With our basic plan, you get 2 flow pages and 3 flow codes. In our pro plan, you get 100 flow codes and 5 flow pages. And then with our Pro Plus plan, you get 1,000 flow codes and 50 flow pages. So it does depend, but you can see all of that broken down on our plans page. It shows you your limits, how many codes, how many pages, and all the other capabilities and features listed out. It has a check mark next to it if it's included.
Awesome. We got another question. I love when they trickle in. We have another question, and it's, will this recording be shared? Absolutely. We will share this with you, those who join the call, and those who maybe were not able to make it as well. So you'll get that shortly this afternoon. Okay, I think we can move to the next slide. And don't be discouraged if you have any last minute burning questions. The chat is still open. Okay, so kind of just to wrap it up, first of all, thank you so much for joining us and for sticking around till the very end. It's always so lovely to answer your questions and to have kind of an audience to hear us talk all about the really awesome things that this product offers, especially for you and your business. And so we'd love for you to continue your journey with us with Flowcode. So feel free to scan the beautifully designed code on the screen, and then you'll be landed on a flow page. So you can actually see that in real time now, all the things we just talked about, you can experience yourself. And then on that page, you'll be able to enjoy a 1 month free trial of Flowcode Pro with a promo code wellness 1 month or 1MO. And then you can also order a free flow tag on there, join our Facebook community. It's a growing community, and a lot of people like to share their content on there. So a really great space for you if you're on Facebook. And then lastly, we're always seeking to feature our creators, our customers in our newsletter or our blog. So we want to see how you're using the product, and it's a really great opportunity for you to promote your business as well. So I'll leave this up for another minute, but yeah, just stay connected with us. And that's it. Thank you so much. Thanks, Corinne. Thank you to our co-host, Cassie. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And we hope to see you on the other side of the platform.
Bye. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for coming.